My name is Michael Nance. I grew up in the Tennessee Valley and I've lived here all my life. I'm one of many folks that maintain TVA's transmission lines that string through thousands of acres of the Tennessee Valley. It's my job to make sure we don't have the wrong tree in the wrong place. TVA's 16,000 miles of transmission lines are the lifeblood of the valley, and at the end of these lines are 9 million customers, all of whom have come to depend on our reliable power. From hospitals to schools to a customer's home, the valley depends on TVA's electricity. Transmission lines are high-voltage power lines that bring electricity from one of TVA's many power plants to local distributors that in turn carry the electricity over low-voltage power lines to the homes and businesses of the valley. If you've been around these lines as long as I have, you get to understand why trees and power lines don't mix. Now you'll see right here, this indicates the easement. There's the right-of-way. When TVA began bringing electricity to the valley in the early 1930s, it purchased easement rights from landowners. Most of these were rural farmers. Because of the growth in the valley, many of these transmission lines now run through suburban neighborhoods, where owners are often unaware of these easement rights. It's my job to meet with the homeowners that live next to these transmission lines and explain to them TVA's right-of-way policies. Under a transmission line easement, property owners have a responsibility not to place or grow things in the right-of-way that could hamper access to the lines for maintenance or repairs, or that might get close enough to the lines to short them out. A right-of-way is an integral part of the transmission system. In simple terms, it's the strip of land immediately below and adjacent to a high-voltage transmission line. Transmission lines are not insulated, and that's one reason they're elevated much higher above the ground than other power lines, to keep them well away from people and trees. And since these lines are the backbone of the TVA transmission system, we're applying our consistent, standardized approach to all 16,000 miles of TVA lines. TVA begins the process by inspecting transmission lines from both the air and the ground, looking for trees, shrubs, and vines that may interfere with the right-of-way. The width of a right-of-way varies by the type of line. Higher voltage lines typically have wider rights-of-way than smaller lines. Most rights-of-way on the TVA system are 75 to 200 feet wide, accommodating lines that can carry up to 500,000 volts. TVA establishes two zones within a transmission right-of-way. In the border zone between the edge of the right-of-way and the lines, and with prior approval, we allow low-growing trees and shrubs whose mature height will not exceed 15 feet. We remove any trees or plants in the border zone that are or could grow to be more than 15 feet high. Additionally, trees planted within the border zone should not have any portion of their canopies under the lines.
It's kind of shocking when you're used to that.
Oh, I bet.
And it just goes shoo.
Just because we're removing trees from the easement doesn't mean that we don't allow certain types of low-growing species in the easement. So I'll work with you on that.
Right.
In the wire zone directly under the lines, we allow only low-growing, non-woody plants. These areas are maintained by mowing and a limited use of herbicides. Controlling trees and shrubs and other plants in the right-of-way isn't just about protecting the integrity of the grid. It's also about speeding up repairs when a tornado tears down a tower or an ice storm brings down a line. That means no woody plants in the transmission right-of-way that could impede access to the lines and delay restoration. None of us want to be in the dark for too long. TVA has been managing rights-of-way across the Tennessee Valley for nearly 80 years. And since we began a more consistent right-of-way policy, we've only received a handful of formal complaints, and a few informal ones too. TVA just wants to put the right tree in the right place, so everyone can enjoy the benefits of safe and reliable power.